I'm going to exercise kitten. Oh no. Yes. Okay. I'm in my editor. I'm going to create a new file. This is index.html. And I'm going to create my CSS file. Index or main or style or whatever. I like to call it index.html. I'll add the HTML already. Well, I'll add the title, kid, and here. And then this is the style sheet. And I don't need to add anything here because it's on the same level as my HTML file, right? Okay. So we have a body and we had a header, some type of content, and a sidebar. So let's begin there. We have this header, and inside that header there was some elements that you could click. I would say is some type of navigation. So we have this tag that is called nav. So right now is body, header, nav. And inside this I'm going to create an unordered list because we don't need to know anything about this, right? And the first one was home. The second one is about, and the about, and the third one, it was a contact. And this is a link to a page that doesn't exist yet, but it will be called about.html. And I'm going to begin now by adding a class to this, navigation, because you need to think about if this website gets bigger and I add another navigation, maybe I don't want it styled the same way, so I want to target this specifically with classes. So we have...
Instead of nav, it can be a div, a container?
Yeah. Yeah. And now we have the header, and then I'm going to do a main tag. And this is where we had like welcome. It was an H1, I would say. And then a P tag.
But where is the title?
Right. Yeah, we missed the title.
Okay.
So how was that? This is a navigation. I would say this is part of the header as well. It's just not part of the navigation, but part of the header. So inside this header, I will add H1, and I will have this, because we may need to do something with it. I actually don't know, but let's see. And then the welcome, and then a P, and I'll add some content to that. Another one, and then an image. I'll just, I don't know where we got this, so I'll copy image address. Yeah, there you go. Let's see how it looks like by now. So, exercise kitten index.html. It looks like this. You pretty much all started like this. And we're missing this sidebar. So after the main, which tag did you use for the sidebar?
100%.
Use one.
Aside. Aside would be the most correct one.
Oh.
And I'll add a class sidebar to that. And it had some type of header element. I'll say it's an H2. And sidebar. And then another p tag with more random content in it. Let's see how it looks now.
Oh.
Terrible, yes. But this is, do you think we need something else in the markup? We may be missing just like another p tag after the image. Let's add it just. So, okay, this is how it looks like.
So when you are writing code, you write everything first. You don't go step by step.
That is a good question. That is how I do it.
No, but that's how it should be, because when you start, writing everything, and then you can see everything in front of you. Then you have to design it,
Yeah.
Put some border to see how that.
But it may make sense for some people to like just write the HTML of the header, style it, and then come back and write more. You can do it, whatever makes sense for you works. So let's begin. Did we add a class to the header? No. I will add it because if I add another header, I may not want it to look that way. So let's start with that, and I'll just say it has a background of orange. Yep. But then this is wrong, right?
But it's better to give the navigation.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's not the header that needs the background, it's the navigation. Now that's okay. And we want it to be one after the other and not displaying like this, right? What did you use for that?
Flex.
Ah, okay, so you used a mix of that. I'm going to use flex. And let's see what happens. I just added a display flex in the navigation, and nothing happened.
You add to the navigation, but you should add the flex to the navigation UL.
This is correct. So I added it here.
The container you have.
And what is the child of the flex in this case? Just
the list.
Just the list. So it doesn't matter because it's just one element, right? So what we need to do is target the UL. What I would do is I will add another class to this.
You don't need to.
Yeah, you can do it in many different ways.
Oh.
I'm just gonna do it like I like to target classes. So
Could I ask you after if you can share this code?
of course, yeah, I'll share it. So now I'm targeting not the nav but the UL that has the elements inside, right? And now this looks like this.
Then
Terrible.
You should give the flex wrap.
What I would do first would be to the items that are inside this, let's remove the style, right? Let's begin with that. Okay. And what else should we add?
Space between the elements. Below the display, right?
First I will add some padding.
Oh.
And I will do it, I just want it top to and bottom, and I will not add any on the sides right now. So I'll add 10 top and bottom and 0 on the sides. Okay.
So is 10-10 or 5-5?
10-10.
Okay.
And then this is annoying me. This like
Yeah, that
part.
will annoy me too.
Yeah. So
The margin and adding 0 to the body.
to the body. Let's do that.
I did it. I don't know why it doesn't work.
Why you don't use the star?
Because right now I just want to remove it from the body. I don't want to remove it from, if we see the need, we'll change it.
Okay.
But yeah, like we do see the need now. Let's actually see what is causing this. And so the body doesn't have that.
I think that it belongs to the header. You know? Because you put the navigation to header and the header has own padding.
Actually, do you see this? There you can see that the orange lines, that's the margin that's happening. And it is in the UL element. Do you see in the bottom? Like, I'm clicking the UL element, and that is the one that is giving me that padding, or that it's a margin, I think actually. Yeah, you can see it here, margin 16. So let's remove that from the
Why
UL
give you margin 16?
because it's by default how it looks like. So we need to override that. So let's do that. To my navigation list, let's remove the margin. There you go. Okay. And now, how do we distribute these elements like so that they are separated and not like they are now?
Direction.
Space around, justify content.
We can do that. Justify content. Let's see how space around looks like.
Oh yeah.
Looks fine.
But the problem is when you shrink it to the 500 pixels, the context goes down to the last one.
Let's test it right now.
Go. Oh. But
So maybe you had something else that was doing that. Okay, so we have this header done. Well, sort of. Let's change the font too. Let's change that. How do you change the font?
Font style. I mean, font. The family font.
Font family.
Oh yeah, font family.
The family font. And I'm gonna say it's
Everybody Helvetica. Why?
well, choose one. Have you guys actually seen this
Sacramento
like
really
the Google fonts?
Yeah, I used to use this.
It's really nice.
Yeah,
and it's helped for
Sacramento is really good.
What do you like? Name one.
Sacramento.
But what is Sacramento? How do I? Is it Sacramento? No. This is too handwritten. No. Something else. How about Montserrat? Almatic. Where is that? Oh, you know this by heart?
Yeah.
You know the names? Let's like
go,
this
go
one.
Go down.
Railway. And then it tells you somewhere. Select this font.
what kind of font do you use more?
And then you can do
import.
This one, and you add this to the top of your CSS file, and then it even gives you this this handy shortcut. So Google Fonts is super nice, and they're all free, right? They're web fonts. So now it looks like this better. We like this. Okay. And now we see that this is not exactly the correct color, so I'm just gonna copy it because we want the text to be white, and if I change it in this ugly orange, it's gonna look bad. So
you have to target the link, LI.
But first, let's change the background color to this. Okay, and now if I say to the navigation list like color white, will this change all of the elements inside it?
In the navigation.
It will. But what happened to the link?
It's selected.
You
have to text decoration.
Text decoration.
But it's not selected, right? So the difference between this and the other ones is that this is a link.
Yeah.
And the link has style of its own.
Standard style. Yeah.
So we need to remove that, and we need to target that specifically. So let's say the elements in my navigation list that are, we can target all of the links, because if we add another link to that, we also want it to look like that.
Text
So
decoration, no.
text decoration none, and color white, and
I mean,
do we need something else?
I mean, the color white, you can even don't make it.
You think if we remove it, it stays the same?
I mean, you don't need. I mean, I think. Oh no. Okay. Oh yeah, it remains in the standard way.
Yeah. If we don't override it, we'll take the blue.
Okay. Yeah.
And then since I am in the home page, the design tells me that this needs to be a little bit bolder. How did you do that?
Weight, keep the weight.
Font
And
style.
how do you target that one?
Child,
Exactly
the
below
child.
below the.
NTH child.
Okay, you can add here, yes, after this.
But how do you, because I just want this one to be bold, right?
NTH child fourth.
Okay.
No,
So-
navigation LI first child. And
Yeah, so you can do that. You can target the first one, but then if you have the about page that we're going to create, then you will need to override that so that it targets the second child, because now the active page would be a different one. So what you do is that in this page, since this is the index page, I will add a class just to this element, and I will say it has a class active. And then when I create my other
Hold on.
my
Should be another way, I think.
why you don't use the ID? Because it's just one element.
we can use an ID too. Yeah,
Hold on,
we can do
hold on.
that. We can say ID active, and then in here, in the navigation list, an element that has the ID active, we change the font weight to 600. I actually don't know if that will work because I'm just importing the railway. Yes, it doesn't work because we need to add, like, we want the semi-bold too. How do we add it? Railway, regular, and also semi-bold.
Doesn't have overlay.
How do we customize? Yeah, so here you need to pick, like, I want this one too. And then, all right, so it just sends this 400 and 600. So right now it doesn't show a difference because we're not loading that font when it's bold. And now it's really, you can almost not see it, but it's there. Can you barely see it? Like, it is a little bit bolder than the other ones. Okay.
But I think it should be another way.
What do you think we could also do?
I don't think that, for
You don't like
every
this?
class we should make an ID active. I don't know.
Because when we get to, like, let's say we're done with this and we're going to create this about the HTML.
Yeah, when you select about, it will be the active one. So you have to make another ID and.
Well, not another one, because then you need to remove it from here and then you add it to this one.
Yeah, I understand.
Mm-hmm. And that will work. Because if, let's say, this keeps growing and actually contact now, it's the first element. Like they told you, now contact needs to be the first one. If you targeted the first element of that list, now you need to change your CSS because that's no longer the case. So the logic of what is active needs to be in the HTML. Because it's not dependent on the style, it's dependent on where you are. Okay. Now, we're here, okay, and we need this to be fixed. Let's.
What the bond thing? When you come back, you bond the feed, the margin, everything.
But that's just because it's tiny, right? Like that's Chrome doing that. Yeah.
But I don't.
I know you don't like it, but but this is the design. Yeah.
But you told me when it goes to the less than 500 pixels, the display goes down. The top bar will be fixed.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be fixed.
It is fixed when right now when we're doing it for the desktop, right?
Okay.
So I just added this position fix to the navigation list. So let's see. I refresh and actually. What happened? This is all bad.
It took over the header.
This is true. What happened?
Yeah, could you push on the fix
Position
again?
fixed?
Yeah.
So this is really bad. I'm gonna add a width, and it doesn't have a height. Do you see? Well, actually it does. This one doesn't have a height, the one that has a background. So I'm gonna add it. I'm gonna say it has a height of, well, 60 is a little bit more. Let's say 50. And actually the one that needs the position fixed is not that one, but this one. And then here we add that. So for me, because of how my markup is built, I need to put it on this one and not on that one.
Yeah, but it should be on the container.
Well,
Because
right now,
otherwise, because when you make it back one, you make it on the container. You didn't make it on the
when you make it what?
the back one.
Yeah.
You made
Yeah,
it
I
on
made
the
it on the container.
So if you pick the list,
Yeah.
the container stay there.
Yeah.
So you should make it on the container to fix it position.
Yeah, exactly, on the nav element, the one that I put the background on. So let's change that. This one goes to position fixed. And then we had to add the, not warning, the width of 100%, because when you change the position to fixed, it will only take the space that it needs, so we need to tell it, take everything. And I hard-coded a height of 50 pixels, because that's what I want. And now we have,
Another problem.
yeah.
I did the same, which looks like this.
And what is this?
It's overflow the title or the header. Sorry.
Yeah. So now we have this element, but since the position fixed is on top of everything else. So how do you fix that problem?
Give the margin to this class title.
Yeah. So this is very common. And when you kind of change the document flow like this, you need to adjust for everything that's coming next. So the reason that I gave this a hard-coded height is because then I know how much I have to push the rest of the element so that it keeps looking good.
But if you position it, like make it top 0 and left 0.
Yeah. We can add that. But it's still overflowing, right? Yeah. We definitely need that. Let's add that too. It's a top 0. But now to the element that is after that.
Oh, excuse me. Can you give the margin button to the navigation as well? So if you give it maybe, yes, if you give it margin button.
It doesn't work.
No.
Because it's not part of the flow.
Yeah, it's that index on the top. So
Yeah.
Even if
And
you
there
make
it's
a
like
button-
it's like on another layer. And on that layer there's nothing but that.
Okay.
So even if it pushes down, it doesn't work. So let's add to the title a margin top of how much we need from the navigation. So and I want to target the title, the titles that are inside the header. And I'm going to add a
You have
margin.
class, name title.
I added it, right? Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay.
50 pixels. And now we can see it because it's pushed down, right? And now it's fixed. Okay, so this is okay.
I think there is another way.
There are many ways. Yeah, you can definitely do this differently.
I don't know because it look really. I mean,
So the problem is that we
Make it
want
really easy.
this to be fixed,
yeah.
and we want it to be on top of things all the time. So for the beginning, you always need to push whatever is next
So
because
you make the header. The title, 50 pixels.
actually you're completely right. This is not the best way to do it. The best way to do it would be to add a margin to the body.
Yeah, because anyway now it look like we have, if we take off
The title.
header, it look like we have a
Yeah.
white page, you know.
That is, you're 100% correct. Yeah. This is what you need to do, because what we want to push is everything, not just the title. We want to push everything down at least 50 pixels. So let's change that. That is, yeah, you're 100% correct. On the body. Yeah. So I will, this margin is, so when you write the shorthand, it goes like clockwise, so top, right, bottom, left. So for me to remove this, I will write 50 pixels 0, 0, 0. Yeah. So yeah, this is a better way to do it. Now, let's add a border on that title, right? Or where did you put the border? On the header, on the title, on the, because you can add,
in a headline.
It doesn't matter, I think.
you can do it like on the a border top on the content. If you had something like that, you can add, there are many ways to do it. The way that I will do it is I will add it on the header. Yeah, we don't have anything on the header yet. Border bottom, 1 pixel, solid gray. Yeah. Sorry? Yeah, you can do that. It's a little bit old school, but yeah. And I'm gonna add, yeah, so this title has some padding in it. So I'm gonna add more than 50 here, just so that it looks a little bit better. Let's say 17. And then how do I center it? How do I center that title?
Text align.
The title inside the header. Text align, center.
But could you go like you know you
Here
need
or the
margin
code?
on the body, you upload
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So it means the title doesn't have any padding. It's still zero.
It has it. It's there, right?
It's still zero the padding. I mean the margin is still zero.
Of the body.
The header.
But you can see it there. The orange lines are the margin of the title.
Yeah, but you just if you do border on the body,
On the body.
yeah. You see, you just
Yeah, I just push
move
everything
the
down.
body, I mean,
Because
down.
I want the border of the header to take everything, right? So if I add some padding to the,
You still have padding zero.
but if I have some padding on the body, then my line does not go across all of it. Then you can see, do you see that like,
No, I mean, despite the reason that we have the header, I mean the title,
yeah,
we can, despite the reason is the an inline, you know, we can make a padding on the title, and we don't have to make it on the entire body.
yeah, and the title has padding for sure. That what I did was I pushed the body down, because if I have the margin of what we had that was like 50, which is the height of the header that we're trying to pass.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we needed. I don't know why we changed that. It's just 50. I think I wanted more space, but I don't want that anymore. Oh yeah. So what did we
So
change?
now we have to make
Because it was the
header.
padding.
Yeah, on the header we have to make the padding
You want to add padding on
the
the header.
So we can.
Yeah, that's another way. You can also do that. Let's Yeah, so something like that.
Yeah.
Padding top and bottom like this. Yeah, we can do that. Let's say like 5. And that looks good. Remember, there are so many ways to do this. This is just one. So we are...
Because you see the spider wheel, I'm so sorry if I'm...
No.
The
Yeah.
spider wheel on that, it shouldn't be on the body. Because you see in the font style, the background cover all the header. So if you move the body, then the background, you will see the white
Yeah.
between the fixed of
The fixed element
the navigation and
yeah.
the body.
Yeah.
So it will be the difference. You have to make it on the header, the padding, because the background is all over the heading. I mean the heading.
Yeah.
The header. I mean.
I think I understand what you're saying, but
Did you understand what I'm saying?
I think so. Yeah.
I hope so. Too.
But let's keep moving. Now let's do the sidebar things. So, how do you do it?
I did float because it was the easiest one.
So if you did it with floats, then let's try to do it with flex. So I am going to have to add another container because you see my layout right now is just main. Yeah, I can close it. And then an aside. What do I need if I want to use flex? A container, right? That needs to put both of them at the same as siblings. And then so I can target that container. So I'm going to say, yeah, div content. And I'm going to put all of this in. And now on my CSS, I'm going to say that content is display flex. Let's see what happens. It's one next to the other one. They both take an equal amount of space. Okay. And what can we do here? What's next? I'm going to do it with, I'm going to target the main content, and we can, well, let's say
80%,
with
90%.
I'd say 80.
It's too big, the sidebar. I tried.
Oh, but what did I target? Yeah, the main. And then the other one is taking the rest. So let's say content aside 20. Oh, with 20.
No, it's too much.
I think that's okay. Let's see what's actually, what is the answer? Well, I did it a different way. So there are many ways, as I said, but I think this is okay. Let's add background color so that we can see it more clearly.
Light gray.
Light gray. Yeah, okay. I need padding, definitely. And I want padding for both. How do I target both of those elements at the same time?
Aside, comma, main, comma, aside.
Like this, right?
No.
Why not?
No.
You can write one content.
Yeah, I mean, you can do that. You can do that.
And all of the
But it doesn't matter. I mean, you just need one content. They are the same content.
But I want it, if I want, like I want padding on this one, right? Specifically, because I need this to be a more, it needs to be gray. So I need it specifically on that one, not on the parent. Right?
Okay. So you make that content aside.
Yeah. So let's add padding on both of them. There you go. That looks good. And what else do we have here? That's pretty much it, right? For this part. And now let's target, this is a position fixed. Well, we're missing the hover thing. How do you do that?
you can target. Yes,
The ID.
yes,
I would do it like this.
But it's work for all of them now.
For all of the links inside the navigation list.
Yeah. But you need just the second one.
No.
No, because only that one is a link in my markup.
Okay, you can use one second.
So that works.
Oh, okay. You have just one.
Let's do the media query stuff. So right now, what happens? It's a mess, right? Like the navigation kind of works fine, but the sidebar is messed up, definitely. So tell me how to write a media query.
Media, early screen, min width,
Min width.
no, max width. That's the only two ways. Min width, no, it's max width.
And I said 500. And what do I want to do here? I want to hide the sidebar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can have like
And
so min width, yeah, max width 500 and min width
Width.
3, let's say 400.
width,
Landscapes and portrait. Yeah. You can build like
Which is better? Use only max width or better use max and min?
what do you think?
I think both.
Yeah, so for me, so one of the interesting things about writing code and writing code as a team is that people need to understand it. So I would say the simplest path is always the best one. So if we add a lot of things here, then maybe someone comes into and needs to make some changes and they're like, what is this crazy media query? What is it targeting? And so it's like, yeah, so if it's simpler, then I would say it's better. If it gets the job done, keep it like that. So we want to target max width, and first of all, I'm going to hide the sidebar. How do you do it?
Display none.
Display none. Didn't work.
Because you have to target
because it's less than 500.
exactly.
What am I missing? I know what I'm missing now. It's not in the CSS.
English HTML? But
Wait, actually, I'm not sure what I'm missing now.
Okay, hold on one second.
maybe you don't target it right. You know,
Yeah, maybe.
go to the impact ID. Go down.
We can also use sidebar, but we're using this
Yes,
now.
Just use the sidebar class.
Would that be different?
No.
Just use that.
I would say it's the same. Yeah, so it still doesn't work. And we can see, like, I'm gonna take it here. And so my media query is not being applied. I don't see that here. So what is wrong with my media query?
Oh, because you are using Apple, maybe you have to change the media query.
No.
No.
What am I missing in the check my media query? Why is it wrong?
Yeah. Only screen end.
And yes. And this is, you can see, like, do you see on the top corner, like, if you look carefully, you can see how wide the screen is there. So now it's 500, it's gone.
What does it mean that and that you put the
So these are two conditions.
Okay.
So this is
Screen, it's your screen.
when is the screen, and the max width of that screen is this.
Okay, but without angle.
Yeah, because then it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't understand that media query.
It makes sense in a certain way, but only screen with that max width.
Yeah, but you can't write it like that, so it doesn't understand. The browser doesn't understand that media query. Let's go for the lunch break and finish this when we get back. Yeah.
Okay.